Primal Chaos.
Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. So in the last sort of several months, I've really taken a deep dive into BTS on this channel, more so just to find out sort of where they came from, what is the attraction, and you know how they're garnering billions of views per video and things like that. And you know, I've sort of developed a bit more of an understanding. I started with Dynamite, which kind of threw me for a loop because that's not at all what I was expecting. Then I checked out Mic Drop, which again, that sort of shook me up out of my tree a little bit, but also was a little bit more kind of down the line of what I was expecting as far as the attitude, the production, all that sort of stuff was kind of more what I had anticipated, I guess. Then, you know, more recently I did Black Swan, which again showed me an entirely different side of BTS and their performance abilities and, you know, their ability to work through different genres very fluidly in a way that sort of is engaging and also elite as far as everything goes. Like they touch on, you know, the virtuosity of their performances, the songwriting in general, all the behind the scenes stuff that really sort of makes it interesting and brings them to a higher level than those around them, I suspect, you know. But a lot of people in the comments for all three of those videos were espousing the desire to see me check out Coldplay and BTS, you know, being that most people know that this has started out as more of a metal and rock channel and it's diversified into a million different things. But this is definitely something I want to check out. I've previously done some Coldplay because they're not a band that I really have vibed with in the past. Not because I didn't like them, just they never really crossed my path too much. And so I did a reaction to one of their videos anyway. And I was really pleasantly surprised. So this is going to be interesting because I know, you know, Coldplay does sort of like this emotional middle of the road rock stuff. BTS is capable of apparently everything, but again, I associate them more with more high attitude dance production, pop R&B aesthetic kind of stuff, if that makes any sense. But again, I don't want to pigeonhole them, and I know it's incorrect to do that because I've witnessed them do things like Dynamite and Black Swan. So this could literally go in any direction. Looking at the clip as it stands right now, it seems a little bit sci-fi, which I don't know if it's more of a Coldplay thing bringing that in or not, but I guess we'll see. But before we dive in, I just wanted to say this video today is brought to you in part by Enchroma Glasses. Enchroma make lenses for colorblind people to help them experience color in a different way. I actually wear them every day as my daily sunglasses because I am one of the one in six guys that's colorblind. So if you know anyone who's colorblind, you want to check them out, check out their website. There's a link in the description that'll take you there. They are absolutely amazing, and I'm a big fan of their support as well. Also, don't forget to check out my website at primalchaos.com, P-R-Y-M-A-L, chaos.com. I got like band-style t-shirts, hoodies, all that sort of stuff. All the merch is designed by me personally, and I'll be putting more of my personal artwork up in the designs coming very soon. So thank you for that. Let's jump right in. Coldplay and BTS, My Universe official music video. Here we go. Okay, so there's a narrative to this one. How are they squeezing all of this music from two different worlds in and putting a narrative in there at the same time? I guess we'll find out. The silencers. How is this music video production? Okay, yeah, this is, from what I understand, this is really Coldplay. Oh. Hang on. There is some really sort of atonal. You guys hearing that? That's really weird. They've got like a synth part going on in the background that's just not, it's kind of atonal, but it sounds, it's not matching the key or anything, which is a bold choice. I mean, I'm sure it's not a mistake. I'm sure it's there deliberately, but it sort of, it throws it off kilter considering how diatonically melodic the intro is. And then, right here.
In the night I lie and look up.
It's just a sound effect, I guess, but it's real interesting.
When the morning comes, I watch you rise. Oh. There's a paradise that
come on, I love that chili tone.
That bright infinity inside.
good.
이런 것도 잊은 채 나 웃으며 너를 만나. Never ending forever, baby. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first. You are my universe, and you make my world light up inside.
Okay, so this is super interesting. My initial instinct was, okay, you've got BTS who are like, what, six guys, something like that. And then you've got obviously Coldplay who are, I'm assuming, 3 or more. Typically when they play live, I'm sure there's more than just the 3 of them there. But, okay, so I was wondering how they're going to cram all of that activity into one thing. And they've very deftly broken it up into 2 things where, I guess, you've got 2 different universes, my universe, right? Being merged together by way of some sort of interstellar DJ who's like beaming everybody's performance in live. We're not going to talk about latency, right? Just suspend your disbelief. But you've got, so BTS kind of just appears as like a hologram. And then when we switch over to their world, Coldplay's there in the form of like a virtual performance as well. That's genius. Like, who problem solved that? Who's like, how are we going to get all these guys on stage at once to not make it look like a complete, absolute, I want to use the word cluster and another word, but I'm not going to say that on my channel. You guys get the idea. Anyway, I'm going to jump back a little bit. Don't want to miss the solo performance of the next verse. What a great voice, man. Oh.
And they said that we can't be together because we come from different sides.
See, now this is something I've been looking into lately. A lot of singers, I think, don't understand the value of sitting back and singing conversationally, especially when it comes to verses. A lot of times people want to, they perform, I was typing a comment about this just earlier today. They vocalize in the same way that maybe a synthesizer does, with not very many dynamics. So they're da 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 da, da the whole time, instead of like ha, na, 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 like conversationally sort of. It's almost like speaking with melody, right? And it allows you to sort of relax down into those rich low notes we were just hearing, and also it sort of gives the verse such character because you're not just like through it. You're like. No, 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 no. No. You can really relax down to those notes because you're not singing it with proper full breath support and projection and things like that, which is, again, that's how you sing properly, right? But there are times when you want light and shade. You want to compositionally be dynamic in the melody that you write. And that's a great example because it transitions from that to this really lazy, relaxed vocal down here to all of a sudden, you are, which is very sort of less dynamic and more powerful. Because if you sung those verses with that same power, everything would be on 10. There's no room for you to step up to a big gang vocal sort of chorus, right? And that's just beautifully done. It's just great instincts and composition. I mean, it's very, what I'm saying isn't unusual. A lot of songs, almost all pop songs that are any good, utilize this, but it's something I never noticed personally before until I started really thinking about vocalists. And it's real easy to sort of go full throttle the whole time because you want your performance to be great vocals the whole time, when really sometimes taking it easy in certain parts allows you to demonstrate your power in places where it's necessary, right? So let's go back a little bit so you can hear those solo vocals again. Beautiful, rich tone. See, he's able to. He sort of. Trust me, I'm not a singer, right? So take what comes out of my mouth with a grain of salt. But being able to sort of like relax down into just breath in that note is actually something Dimash does a lot, actually. And they said that we can't be together
밝혀주는 건 너란 사랑으로 수놓아진 별. 내 우주에 넌 다른 세상을 만들어주는 걸. 너는 내 별이자 나의 호주니까 지금 이 시련도 결국엔 잠시니까 너는 언제까지나.
Oh wow, so he's using breaths there. Actually, does this have closed captions unavailable? Dag nabbit! You guys know I like to put the closed captions on, even though I debate whether or not I should be looking at them most of the time. But I love the way that, see, as he was rapping, he was kind of like, again, just relaxing into just breath, but rhythmically.
다른 세상을 만들어주는 걸. 너는 내 별이자 나의 호주니까 지금 이 시련도 결국엔 잠시니까.
That's really cool.
너는 언제까지나 지금처럼 밝게만 빛나줘. 우리는 너로 따라 이긴 밤을 수놓고 너와 함께 날아가. When I'm without you I'm crazy. 자 어서 내 손을 잡아. We are made of each other, baby. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first.
So I was just having a quick look at the lyrics there, and I love the positivity of it all. Like, this is clearly in much the same way that Dynamite is a song that's designed to uplift spirits. I think this song is just dripping with positivity, and that's really interesting as well. Like, I love lines in there, when I'm without you I'm crazy, please hold my hand, which is all, I mean, you know, fairly common as far as this what lights me up are you? Stars adorned with love made of you in my universe. Make another world for me because you are my stars and my universe. Now, obviously, this is all going to lose something in translation. However, I noticed the one English line was, we're made of each other, baby. And that's interesting when you look at it, like the concept of we're all made of stardust, right? All the elements that make up everything around us and the planet and ourselves. It all originates in the center of a star in a huge, like, nuclear reaction. And, you know, parts of us come from all over the universe. And that's actually kind of a beautiful thought, because all of those elements originated, you know, millions of light years away, and they've made their way here to be the building blocks for us all. So we're all made up of the universe. And in that way, we're all very similar. Like, we seem to see a lot of differences between ourselves and others. But at the end of the day, we're all made of the same stuff, you know. We're made of each other, baby, you know. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but, you know, the concept of, you know, being my universe, and, you know, the way that they're sort of creating the narrative in this video is about togetherness, even though there's great distance and difference. I think that's really beautiful. Just going to jump back a little bit. Again, that's so interesting. So listen to the change up when the silences appear, the shadow, the ominous, you know, the people trying to sort of suppress us and keep us down. The synth parts morph from being, again, just very major and sort of diatonic, and then they shift down sort of, you know, almost to like a, you know, step down like a minor second or something like that to sound ominous and dark and dangerous. There we go. They go flat. And it comes down. And now it's ominous. Shut it down.
Silencers imminent.
Looks like they spent about $7 on this video, huh? This looks like The Expanse crossed with the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Oh, I like that. I just want to say kudos to whoever came up with this little riff at the end, because it demonstrates how powerful a small amount of silence can be. So like in order to develop a groove, right? You can just have a beat that's like do do ka do 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 ka do 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 ka. But if you take a couple of notes out of that and you got do ka do ka, it just adds so much tension and release using pretty much the same rhythm functionally, but you just get this weird sort of pull in like your chest to like, oh, we got to get to where they're going. And you can hear the silence. They literally cut everything. That one right there. I love that. That's really cool. What a great video. Man, you know what? I was about to say I'd never expected that, but what was I going to expect? You can't expect any of this. It's all unexpected. Merging a band like BTS, who is such a wild card as far as, you know, their approach to what popular music is, and then putting them with someone who writes diverse music, but is still kind of like, they have a staple vibe, which is Coldplay. And then figuring out how they're going to play nice together on the battlefield. You know what I mean? It's just interesting. And I guess, you know, you couldn't have hoped for a better result than this. You've got a song that's got a beautiful message. It's positive. It's uplifting. It challenges, you know, that notion of there's people there that are going to bring you down. When realistically, we should all be working together. It's all about togetherness and things. And I think, you know, in this period of time, which is we live in such a pessimistic era. This is almost like a community service announcement of like, you know, just culturally, we all just need to start getting along and work on what makes us different as a benefit, as opposed to something that's a negative. And expressing yourself through, you know, I mean, look, this guy, I'm looking at this image right here. He's got missiles that he's repurposed, and there's a sea mine in the background. He's repurposed into musical instruments. Like that in itself is just like, let's end war and just be more creative as a species. We're all made of the same stardust. What a cool message. Brilliant music video, brilliant production as usual. The genius of like the dichotomy of taking those two acts and merging them in a way that didn't seem forced. It almost seems like they're one cohesive group, aside from the fact that the raps are in Korean. You know, if you closed your eyes, you could assume that whole thing was just a par for the course song on an album by a band. You know, it merged so perfectly together. Nothing stood out as being out of place. It was just a good choice all around. I don't know who put this whole project together, but they've done a really cool thing. So, yeah. Anyway, that was exciting. Thanks again for checking it in. Thanks for the recommendations. Many of you recommended this one. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Yeah, but if you feel like I brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel just by using super thanks just below the video, or you can just buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Also, like, share, follow, subscribe. Don't forget to check out primalchaos.com for merch. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate your support. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe. This year, I'm trying to pump it up to 50K. We'll see how we go. Thanks again. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay primal.